Hola, bonjour, konnichiwa, and hello to everybody who is here watching the Draw Along Show with me, Kyle Webster, your host. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to be drawing with you today. Now, this is an all ages, all skill levels show. Everything we do is meant to be for people who are just excited about drawing. Doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 50 years or doing it for 5 minutes, okay? To do this show, you're going to have something to draw with, right? It could be a pencil or a pen or a marker or a crayon. Or like I said yesterday, could be a nice bone. Maybe this time you get a little chicken wing bone. And you can use that to dip in a little bit of hot sauce and draw all over the walls. Whatever you like to draw with is fine with me. Welcome everybody who's in the chat. If you're watching on Behance, that's the place to be for interaction with me, for asking me questions, and for making suggestions for what I'm going to draw at the end of the show for the animal and activity game. Alrighty folks, I'm also going to do an appreciation station, which means I'm going to appreciate one of you out there in the audience who's watching, as we do every episode. And I don't know who that's going to be yet. We'll find out. It's going to be a surprise. All right. Hello, Afroha and Misty and Stephen and Mercurial. And I see Sam and Annika and Dr. Vertna West. Hello to you. And Misty, I think I said hi to you. Everybody, thanks for joining me. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, the place to watch if you want to chat with me is be.net/live. All right. I hope you're all doing well. Anybody out there got any service members, people serving in the armed forces? I come from a family where quite a few people were in the Marines, and I was not one of them, but I think I'm a little too small and wimpy for that. But hey, I greatly respect those folks. Hey, I got a little joke for you. Sergeant says to the private, "Private, you were not in camouflage class yesterday." Private says, "How do you know, sir?" Oh my goodness. Why don't we do some drawing? Okay, folks, here we go. Now, to do these drawings, you have to be able to do 3 simple things. They are, once again, a straight line, okay, a zigzag, and a curvilinear line. Could be a C curve, could be an S curve, whatever you like. And for today's drawing, we're going to start with a straight line. Here it goes. Just like this. Bump. That's a small line, isn't it? Yeah, this one's not too long. I say if you're drawing this on a piece of paper, it's about, 3/4 of a centimeter or somewhere in that sort of vicinity, unless you like to draw really tiny, or maybe you like to draw really big. I can't tell you how big to draw it, but I'm just saying, it's not that long compared to the other lines that we're going to do in this drawing, okay? And let's put another one right there next to it. Okay. Now, we're going to take a little directional change up here at the top of this line. We're going to go out this away. Bump. All right. And over here, same deal. We oftentimes have symmetry in these drawings, don't we, gang? Happens a lot. Okay, straight on up again. Straight on up again. How long are these lines, you might ask? Well, they're the same length generally as the first 2 lines. Notice how they're all kind of the same length? And here, I'm going to start drawing across this way, but with a little bit of a curve, all right? However, I'm going to interrupt that curve. Check out what I mean. Here I go. Starting to curve up this way and then stop. Starting to curve up this way and then I stop. Leave a little space there in the middle and just put a little bump like that. All right? Now here, we're going to draw a line like this. And then we're going to come down and curve around to connect to there. Down, curve around, and connect, like so. So it's kind of like a capital letter D that's been turned 90 degrees clockwise. Alrighty. Now off of here, where we change direction, going from diagonal to straight up, we just do a little C curve right there, and just mirror that over on that side. Okie dokie. So far, so good. Next, we are going to take this line and this line. We're going to extend them downward a little farther, okay? Check it out. Down we go, down we go. And then a nice C curve at the bottom to connect the 2 of them. And right about here where we started to extend them, okay, we are going to draw out at roughly the same angle as that second line that we drew, right? Or that second set of lines we drew, rather. So I'm coming out this way, longest line of the drawing so far, right? See that? Make it about that long. And same on this side. Out we go, out we go, out we go. Make those about the same length on either side. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I want you to just creep out along that line, and you're going to draw a line that has a slight angle to it. It's going to start just underneath this side here of this face that we've drawn right here. Okay. It's going to come down and out to about there, down and out to about there. Okay. Now look, my lines aren't perfectly straight, right? My lines are a little wobbly, and that's totally fine. We're not out for perfection with these drawings, folks. Remember that. Not out for perfection. Leave that stuff at home. We don't need any perfection here. We're not interested in it. Alrighty, now here comes a nice S-curve. Check it out. S-curve. Okay, and we can just make those two line up and meet one another. Okay, and from here I'm going to draw up at almost the same angle as this line, only it's going to taper slightly in towards here. So maybe it's easier to start from here and draw down. You can start from this way and draw up. Depends on if you're right-handed or left-handed. I don't know what's easiest for you, but for me that's the easy thing to do. Just go down that way and do the same on both sides. Okay, zooming in again so you can take a close look at what I do here. I'm going to draw a little C curve. It's going to go around like that. Okay, and right about in the center of that C curve, I'm going to come up and around and connect. Same on this side. C curve, up and around and connect. Okay, there we go. And now all you have to do is draw these little lines here. So we have a closed fist. Okay. It's funny when people say closed fist, isn't it? Because is there any such thing as an open fist? Not that I know of. Okie dokie. Now, on to the bottom half of the body. This part's really simple. Check it out. Just here, okay, inside of this line that we've drawn, this little S-curve, we're going to draw a little line out like that and do the same on this side, out like that. Notice it's not perfectly straight up and down, right? It's got a little angle to it. And then I'm just going to connect those. Just draw right across, just like that. And draw a little line here, okay, at the center. And I'm going to carry that line down. Check out how long this is. This is, again, going to be a very long line, at least as long as this. Okay, check it out. Down we go. Okay, that's a long one. So that line compared to this line, they're about the same. This might even be a hair longer than that. Okay, now from here, I'm going to come down this way, but check it out. I'm not going to draw all the way to the bottom. I'm going to stop right about there. Just going to stop. Okay. Stopping right about there, giving myself some space here. Because check out what I do here. I'm going to draw an oval like that, okay? And now I can let that come down, and then I'm going to draw a little line like that. So what we have is this foot coming out towards us, okay? Now here, remember how we have this line that's not perfectly straight up and down, but it's kind of facing out a little bit? I'm going to keep that going down about halfway the length of this leg here. And I'm just going to C-curve that and then pop it up this way, like so. All right? How's that look for everybody? And just inside from here, okay, imagine I've got a little oval back there. Check it out. And draw part of that oval like that. And that shows us that that leg is bent backwards. Okay, and we're only seeing top half of the leg and then the foot sticking out back there. And finally, check this out. Nice long S-curve. Okay, this person is winning a race, and I love to do this. We put little lines here at the bottom to show that they're mid-stride, just above the ground. Okay, and maybe they're excited, so you can put some little action lines up there if you like. Here's a person winning a race. Now, of course, you can customize this and make it your own. Put a design on the shirt, Give this person some hair if you like. Okay? However you want to do it. Up to you. All right, so you're drawing. You draw a little adoring crowd in the background, people cheering, maybe a little scenery. Maybe they're running a nice little race through the Alps or something pretty. Who knows? That is our You Draw It for today. What do you think, gang? How'd that work out for everybody? Hope that went well. Hope that went well. We are now going to move on to an art tip. We haven't done an art tip in a few episodes, and I thought it'd be a good thing to jump in there and do one for everybody. And today's art tip is on the topic of eyes. And yes, people do quite a few art tips about eyes. I haven't talked about this one specifically, and it's a really fundamental one and one to keep in mind. And that is to always be keeping in the back of your mind the fact that an eye is comprised of an eyeball, okay, hiding behind those eyelids, right? And it is a sphere. And to think about this, here's what I want you to think about today. You have the iris, okay? When the eye is looking straight at you, that iris is mostly a perfect circle, okay? However, what happens when someone looks to the left, looks to the right, or you're looking at them from a different angle and their eyes are not facing you directly? It's important to remember that that iris changes shape and does not stay a circle, right? So here's my nice pretty iris facing me. That's all very nice. I get a nice little highlight there in the eye. That's always fun. Woo. Fancy. But what happens when the eye looks to the left? All right, so let's draw another circle here. When the eye looks to the left, what happens to that iris? It becomes an oval, okay? Because we're going to go around this way. If you want to see some center lines here, imagine that. Okay, and so what does that mean for your characters when you're drawing them? So if I draw the eye of my character and they're looking off to the left, right? I want to make sure that the, there we go, that's better. The iris I draw is going to be a part of a circle that is a sphere. It's three-dimensional, right? So we want to keep that in mind when we are doing this for our characters, drawing them looking to the left, looking to the right, looking up, okay? So maybe I have them looking up and do this kind of thing, okay? Because we're seeing that eyeball. And if I were to complete this, you know, you'd see this shape here, all right? So it's looking up in that direction. And got to make sure that I'm thinking of that as a three-dimensional form when I draw, okay? Another thing too is when you're drawing little cartoon characters and whatnot, make sure you draw like a much bigger sort of cartoony eye like that. When you're drawing cartoon characters, you want to have them look expressive. If you make the irises just a little bit smaller, okay, it's much easier to communicate which direction they're looking. Okay, the larger they get within the whites of the eyes, the harder it is to really get that idea across to your audience, okay? And I'm not sure if he mentions this or not in that book I recommended yesterday in Favorite Books. But Scott McCloud in that book, Making Comics, I think might talk a little bit about this stuff. Could be wrong though. Anyway, check it out. Certainly nothing new here. I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know or that you won't find in a million other places. But always good to keep these fundamentals in the back of your mind. Okay? Smaller irises, make sure that they are ovals. When they're looking off to the side, make sure when they look directly at you, they are circles, and so on. And just a quick reminder, folks, when you're drawing eyes, they change shape when you go to a side view, don't they? Okay? Don't forget, that they are no longer this sort of almond shape or whatever shape you're going to draw for an eye. Okay, that changes. That all goes out the window when the eye is seen from profile. Okay, everything changes. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so basically what you got is like a sideways kind of a V shape for the eye. And even for your cartoon characters, if you're not even using that kind of a thing, even if you have somebody who's looking off to the side, use that shape. See that? Like that? Instead of this shape, right? I'm just making a sort of a line for the character looking off to the side, right? It just helps. Okay. So we're going to move on to our little animal and activity game for today. Oops, pardon me, there's the alarm for Appreciation Station. Let's not forget that. Today we are appreciating Dr. Vertna. Dr. Vertna, thank you for joining us and watching the show today. Don't know if you remember this, but there was that one summer we were working on a cruise ship and we were the entertainment. Pretty fun time cruising over to the Bahamas. We were on the ship and I was the juggler and you were the sword swallower. And we got on stage and I had forgotten my juggling pins. Stupid me. And you know what you did? This is amazing. Saved me a ton of embarrassment. You just coughed up 3 swords that you had stored up in your stomach. I juggled those babies, did a good job, threw them right back to you, and you swallowed them again. People couldn't believe it. That really worked out great. So thank you for saving my bacon that day. Made me look good. We had a nice rest of the journey. I didn't forget my juggling pins again, but thank you for that. You were there for me when I needed you. So we appreciate you today. Appreciation Station, Dr. Vertna, and thanks for watching the show. And now we're going to do our animal and activity game. So back to drawing. This is where you have to suggest for me an animal doing something funny, strange, weird, unexpected, bizarre. Okay? And as an example, we have for in the past done a jump roping cow. We have done a Tyrannosaurus Rex or dinosaur, crocheting. These are just a few of the things we've done, but there's always a cool idea coming out of the crowd or multiple ideas. And so let's take a look at some of the things we have today. Matthew suggesting a cat playing the piano. I like that. And Misty is saying an elephant on a trampoline. Ooh, that's a fun one. I might have to do that one. I like that. A cow folding laundry, says Shruti. And Lena says a whale with a parachute. Boy, that would have to be a pretty big parachute, would it not? Clever says an armadillo with a banana split. Umacorn is hitting me with the shoe bill again, and I still haven't tried to draw a shoe bill. You sent me photo reference, which I appreciate. Okay, tell you what, Umacorn, I am really going to make a point of getting the shoe bill down. I got to draw that a few times so I can understand its basic shapes. Had a really funny looking head. That is a funny looking bird. Almost doesn't look real. Okay, so lots of cool suggestions here. I think, let's see. All right, let's try this whale with a parachute, Lena. What do you say? Love all the ideas, as always, gang. Thank you so much. Gonna get my nice light blue color here to sketch with. There we go. And it's whale time, so let's do this. So we're gonna have the whale with little fins holding on to the little backpack. And gonna have the mouth. And then we are going to have his other arm coming around the corner like that. Have him wearing some kind of like vest here. And way back behind him is going to be that parachute not looking big enough, is it? But hopefully it's made out of strong stuff. Let's hope. And let's do the tail coming on back this way. Like that. Up in the clouds. I think actually whales have, yeah, it goes kind of more up like that, doesn't it? And then the eyes are back there. Maybe have them looking down. That might be a little funnier. Okay. That looks about right to me. And let's knock our sketch back. And I will use my nice dark blue color here. And let's see if I can get that shape a little nicer. And a little flipper coming around. Get the rest of that strap back to the, what do they call that thing? A little backpack that holds the parachute. One thing I've never done in my life and don't intend to ever do is skydiving. No interest. Thank you very much. No thanks. But if you've done it, tell us in the chat. Was it amazing? I'm sure it was. It's a dumb question, huh? Was it everything you thought it would be? Was it terrifying? Was it invigorating? Was it life-changing? Oops, let's get those lines coming in the right direction. Hard to draw a parachute like this if you've never done it before. I've never tried to draw this kind of parachute. You know, the ones that like have that very specific wide kind of shape. You see them in the movies when they do skydiving, you know? And there's that other flipper. Let's get a little more precise with that shape there. There. Doesn't hurt to redraw stuff to make it look just a little better. Does it? Never hurts. Out. Little birdies there. Yeah, I think that's okay. Little skydiving whale. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Tomorrow's my master class at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Hope until then you all are going to be taking care of each other, taking care of yourselves, and remember as always to please be kind. And I'm going to say ciao for now.